Sabres win game three, 3-1, take a 2-1 series lead over the Boston Bruins. And boy, maybe all this energy spent to get home ice uh, isn't really worth it. Both teams playing at home, Buffalo with two examples, and last night with the Bruins at home, seem to get away from their game a lot quicker than they would otherwise away. And I said in the last episode that this is possibly what exactly the Sabres needed was get out of town, get out of the frenzy of Western New York and the whole drama of not being in the playoffs for 14 seasons, 15 years, and go out and play just a solid road game. And they did. They really did. They pretty much mirrored what Boston did for 51 and a half minutes in game one and all of game two. Uh, they played smart, they played structured, pucks in deep, worked the defense. This Boston D is they're gonna be exhausted if it goes seven. But they did what they should have been doing at home. It's not sexy. It's not fun for the crowd. You can't wait for the last, 10 minutes of the third period to really play your offensive game. So there's a different way to approach it. And this is what they did. And this is what teams on the road do in the playoffs is they played a very simple game, a very honest game. Yeah, Boston's taking some serious liberties with this team, but they're battling through it as a team. Uh, the goals really Tanner Jeannot through Connor Timmins tries to block it, probably screened Alex Lyon. It's 1-0, but what could be the turning point in the entire series is the Viktor Arvidsson penalty shot where he blew it wide. The reason why that happened is Matthias Samuelsson's stick explodes. Arvidsson gets taken down and awarded a penalty shot, and Alex Lyon stood up. And boy, less than a minute later, or around a minute later, Bowen Byrum scores his second on a pretty much elite level pass uh, from Noah Ostlund, who is around the net to the goaltender's right, and this was as perfect a setup as you can get. That puck got to Byrum in a hurry, and Bowen Byrum, to his credit, that was off his stick in a hurry. All of a sudden, it's 1-1. And I talk a little bit here before we get into the rest of the other two goals uh, about the play of Bowen Byrum here. And this is where the depth of the Buffalo defense has really made a difference in these three games. Owen Power is, you know, he's had a few assists here and he's played pretty well when he's not in his own end. But really, when you bring up the Buffalo defense, you really have to bring up Rasmus Dahlin and what's going on with him. And I think it's very obvious the Boston Bruins, Marco Sturm down to the assistants to the entire team, is he's not going to beat us. We are not going to have Rasmus Dahlin be the difference in this series. And this is where the depth of the defense comes through because Bowen Byrum has been outstanding in these three games. Matthias Samuelsson as well. The third pair is the third pair with Stanley and Timmins. But this is what helps when you have a team that has this kind of depth defensively. The forwards in game three, I thought played pretty well, pretty honest hockey. Um, the big line did what it could, and Alex Tuck to make it 2-1 is basically that shift was all him. If he if he ever uh, proved his worth to a hockey club, that shift is it. Because not only does he come out of the corner, and not only does he have the Bruins running around circles, he is still maintaining that drive from the about 26 feet out, where a lot of goals are scored. Gets in position, gets it by Swayman. It's 2-1. And basically, that is how it kind of went for a while. But an incredibly massive shift by Alex Tuck until Oslin. And boy, did they miss him in the lineup. Josh Norris, who gets the empty netter on a 1-on-3 incredible effort. And he was the one who had the assist on the Byrum goal. A very good road game. Very good road game. Alex Lyon was terrific. The one, the Janot goal, I guess you can look the other way because maybe he didn't pick it up uh, as fast as he could because of Timmins sliding to block it. And good on Timmins for trying to block the shot. It happens. It's hockey. It happens. Sometimes it happens, but he was fantastic and may have turned this series around. I may have won this series on that penalty shot because if it's 2-0 Boston, this game's over. And then they have a 2-1 lead, staring at Sunday's game 4. Instead, it's flipped, and Alex Lyon was a big part of it. The power play, 0 for 5. Well, that's nothing new. They're 0 for 14 in the series. I'm not even sure what they do here now. Boston has figured them out from the first power play in game 1. And nobody handles pressure well. The decision making with that time and space being shortened is abysmal. And you only hope when the Sabres get a power play that the Bruin penalty killing forwards don't get behind the defense and get in on a breakaway. It's been that bad. It really has. The only saving grace really is the penalty kill went 4 for 4 and did a really nice job on the Boston power plays. I'm not sure what these officials were looking at last night with Garrett Rank and Kyle Raymond. This does nothing to further their stature in this league as far as being playoff refs because the Thompson penalty, just simply running into somebody, the Krebs penalty, where he did nothing. Bad calls are bad calls, and they're going to happen. I'm not sure why they called it like this. I know there was a meeting with the refs and the two head coaches with Sturm and Ruff before the game is we're going to keep a lid on it. Well, there's keeping a lid on it, and then there's just egregious malfeasance when it comes to officiating, and that's what it was last night. So hopefully those two can go the way of Ottawa and the LA Kings and be eliminated from being involved in the playoffs again. But a short one tonight, a 3-1 win, a 2-1 series lead, and a big game looming, on Sunday in Boston for game 4. It's got to be Lyon going. Obviously, it'll be Swayman. And we'll see what kind of desperation the Bruins come out with, and we'll see what kind of steady play the Sabres can come up with in a pivotal game 4. And we'll see you after that.